Hey, there we go. Oy vey. Oy vey. Oy vey. Oy vey, 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 vey. But, so 100 rounds of Winchester 5.56 55 grain, $60 plus tax at Cal Ranch, if you can hear me. I got this new headset on. I hope you find this very annoying. There we go. Wow, there's a crow. So again, Sportsman's Warehouse has, I guess, publicly announced they are going out of business. Kind of knew that around 2019. You know, and it was 2017 is when they really started giving me room for concern. You know, they're gouging the shit out of everything on their prices, plus they were reducing inventory then. And I almost went to Sportsman's this morning, but they got a VFA whatever table out front. Some guy begging money for veterans things. And I was like, dude, ain't got it. Aren't you a grateful American? No, I'm not. I'm a very bitter American. I'm not grateful. You know, certain things I'm grateful for, but Rome took better care of its soldiers and its retired soldiers than we do. You know, so maybe that's it right there. It's like you guys ought to go back to being militias. Sincerely, I know militias can't do anything against airstrike and long-range field artillery. Texas, I believe, under the State Guard Association of the United States, I believe they have artillery. And these are civilians. You know, well, they're not civilians per se. SGOS, and you'll find it, even California's got one. And what they do, what the hell is this? I'm gonna have to put this down. What the hell's going on over here? Looks like an ambulance. Oh, what the hell? Let's just go this way. Where you going there, buddy? Alright, there we go. We'll go that way. So we got 2 ambuli at the senior center. So we got a fire engine. Engine 1, medic 1. Code 2 to the old fart's home. So let's go in here really quick. So during the vid, when look, we got bodies going, bodies in the ground. But during the vid, and they were hyping everything up, I was even coming around this Carson City Lone Mountain Cemetery. I even came through here. I went to the hospital, local hospital here in Carson. Yep, they got the casket liner going in. That's the first fresh grave I've seen. You know, so there we go. But during COVID, I'm driving around here, and it was a ghost town. I'm driving around here, and of course there's hardly anybody on the roads because everybody's scared, because there's something out there that you cannot see, and it's gonna get you. All right. So the mortuary's over there, along with the crematorium, next to the old folks' home. Go figure, right? The senior center. That's just, well, just get them on over here. We'll get started right up. You know, nothing was going on. The hospital parking lot was empty. The emergency room entrance there was nothing there. No, not even any cars parked out front. No ambulance, nothing. You know, this here is the soldiers section from back in the day. A lot of these guys were the ones that were buried out of Fort Churchill. Old Fort Churchill. Oh, look, there's a pile of dog shit right there. I hate vandals, I really do. Yeah. So anyways, I'm driving around here, and there's nothing going on. There's no smoke billowing out of the crematorium. You know, probably wouldn't be anyways, but the point being is that there was no refrigerator trailers out there stacked full of bodies. Nothing was happening. You guys were terrified in your fucking homes. The only thing that COVID killed was the people that got put on the respirators and all the other shit that, only the Europeans started up their little fact-finding missions. Here in the United States, we have a degree, you don't. This is what happened. Deal with it. America. Sincerely. 'Twas it. 'Twas it, Tweety Bird. 'Twas it. There was nothing going on. Nothing. People get pissed off at me. It's always the same old shit because you don't fucking listen. See where we're going back. Let's get back here just a little bit. Let's go ahead and get back here. That way if somebody comes around, there we go. Let's walk around here. Yeah. It's a cool day today. Hell yeah. Let's see. There. Yeah, I got it. Good. There were no new graves. There were no. This place should have been tore up. Bodies going on the ground everywhere. Where the crematorium going crazy. There wasn't any of that. I get my hair cut. These are soldier headstones right here. Here's one right here. This Grand Army of the Republic. That's what this grave marker is. Civil War era. If not Civil War soldier. Captain C.A. Witherall, Company K, 16th Michigan Infantry, Civil War Union. Who are you? 7th California Infantry. Yep. 1861, 1865. But these right here, and of course military headstones come in different flavors these days. Company A, New York Infantry, 144th New York. Nothing going on. Nothing. For as horrible as it is, look at that. I gotta get my hair cut. So, J.M. Beckstead, Company D, 1st Nevada Infantry, Spanish-American War. Used to, there was a while there I was getting good at it. I wouldn't even have to look at where, like right there, Mexican War, Iowa Volunteers. I'd be able to tell by the cut. The slight variation, 7th Kansas Cavalry. I'd be able to tell by the cut of the stone when it was issued. What era? I can't tell now. Robert Hare, Company G, 5th Michigan Cavalry. I even got wrangled into a couple of those heritage groups. Sons of Union veterans, Sons of Confederate veterans. I don't really do anything with them. I haven't done anything with either one. Seems like every other group, they really got their own internal clique going on locally. And damn, they want your dues. They want you to pay your camp dues like crazy, but they really don't want to hear from you. They don't give a shit about any ideas you have or anything like that. So these are the guys out of Sparks. Camp Carlin out of Sparks or Reno that are doing this. These are new. Definitely old. Thomas J. Fuller, 66th Regiment, Indiana Infantry, 1846, 1935. Yeah. 13th Wisconsin, Thomas Taylor. Cuba, Spanish-American War. Look at that. Different headstone, different width, different cut. All right. You know, there's a lot of history in headstones. But also, you got, especially if you're doing your own family history, you got to be careful because headstones, they can lie. You know, you can have deliberate false information on there, where the person that cut the stone screwed something up, and since that person's still going to charge you, you know, the birth year could be wrong, the death year or the death month, depending on when you had the stone done, could be wrong. Spelling of the name could be wrong. These are all new. Wow. Carlin Camp's been active. Yeah, look at that. U.S. soldier. So these guys, a lot of these burials here, these were disinterred from Fort Churchill and reinterred here. These guys here. So look at that one. John W. Haynes, Company F, 7th California. That Medal of Honor. Looks like it to me. Medal of Honor. 1903, age 61 years. Now, another thing that I was told, I haven't verified it, but it makes sense. Another thing I was told is like Medal of Honor recipients during the American Civil War. It's like, look at how many military honors that you could have been awarded during the Civil War. Like the Medal of Honor was only like one of two that you could have gotten. You know? So having a CMH from the American Civil War is not that big of a deal compared to someone who got one within the last 25 years or even the last 80 years. World War I CMH would be a big deal. Yeah, and all that. So there we go. So yeah, I found that, people, I turn into an asshole when I'm dealing with assholes. And this country is nothing but assholes. But I found out that a lot of the heritage groups are not as fun as I thought they would have been. They're not as fun as I wanted them to be. And a lot of the heritage groups really aren't in it about the history. You know. So now I got sucked into two of them, Sons of Confederate Veterans, Sons of Union Veterans. So gave them my damn money, and a year later I get this screwed up, I don't know what it is for Sons of Union Veterans, their magazine, but a year later I get a copy of this screwed up, mangled magazine in the mail, and that was it. So Sons of Union Veterans really kind of bent me over, so I just said up yours and left. And I'm not the only one. There's guys a lot younger, even when it comes to Sons of Confederate Veterans. Man, this one article, this one letter was written to the SCV. At the time, this guy that was writing this, 25 years old, and he told them flat out what I experienced even in this area. They seem to be only concerned about camp dues. They want that money. They don't get out and do anything for the local cemeteries. They don't do anything about preserving the history, and they don't. Looks like Carlin 25 is doing something, unless there's another Union camp in this area here, not associated, and they're taking care of this. Watch them. We're going to sue you because you're bad-mouthing us. Not bad-mouthing you. It's a common problem in both organizations. I think the oldest running Union veteran group in the United States, I think it's in Maryland, and it's a black Sons of Union Veterans. So it's Sons of Union Veterans from the black soldiers of the Civil War. And I think they're the longest running SUV group in the country. I'd imagine they'd probably have like I'm only assuming now, ass out of you and me, but I'm assuming if they've been that long, if they've been here that long, I'd imagine they'd have their own building. And if they've been here that long, which they have, I wonder what kind of records and memorabilia they have. I'd imagine it'd just be absolutely fascinating. The history they won't allow in history books, you know. It's not just a black thing. It's a political thing. The history they won't allow in history books. 1885, died 1887. Poor little guy. Where the hell did the rest of the family go? The bodies are here. Look at the plot. You know, Georgie, only son of George M. and Katie Stewart. George Stewart. Is that the Stewart Indian Colony fame Stewart? I don't know. I don't think his name was George, though. Look at this. James R. Fair. Is that a W? Looks like a V. Killed September 24th, 1897, in his 45th year. And with the morn, those angel faces smile, which I have loved long since and lost a while. There you go. I used to have a book on cemetery symbology. 3 chains. Or does that say 3 chains that says God? I don't know. Look at that. Yep, the tree cut down. Yep. So symbology there. You got the tree and it's cut down in its life. You got the 3 logs right there. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Trinity. Trinity. Alright. I don't remember what these are anymore. So like the obelisk, right? The Masonic God. Yeah. The 3 chains. I don't remember. Ugh! Oy vey! Ugh! So Francis Harris and Joseph Harris. That's actually nice though. They like that Hebrew lettering. Actually looks nice. Look at that. There you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Daughter of Joseph and Malvina. Joseph and Malvina. Platt. 3 years and 10 months. Both of them? 1828, 1874. Wow, something came through. 1837, 1908. Weishman. We're in the Jewish part of the cemetery. Even in death we segregate, so I don't know why everybody's up in arms. Yeah, we have to be united. No, we don't. We just have to leave each other the fuck alone. Sammy Jacobs. Sammy Jacobs. February 21st, 1885. 4 years. Zionism was just coming into vogue. So, when this little guy went in the ground, Zionism really wasn't a thing. Yeah. Hannah Livingston, January 11th, 1848, died October 30th, 1892. Damn, Hannah. Schroeder. Studer. Edwin Edgar Adele. 1930-2008. Loving husband, father, grandfather, brother, and friend. Oh. I got this thing for cemeteries, like, you don't fuck with them. It's not superstition, it's just, you know, the way I see it, they're dead, leave them alone. Yeah, that's how, I don't care if it's a Muslim cemetery, leave them alone. It's a rabbit in the mud. Doinky, 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 yeah. Hear the birds chirping. Cemeteries are one of the most peaceful places you can go because they're all dead. You know? Weber or Weber? Jakob Weber, age 72, died 1892. That's a good long run. My third great grandfather was born in 1816 and died in 1912. You know? I hear people even today say they didn't live that long. Go check the census records. Go walk through the cemeteries. They lived a long time. Augustus V. Mueller died 1896. Native of Nevada. Faith, Hope, and Charity. Simon Goff. FLT. So this is my new $7.99 headset for the phone. And when I get back in the car, I'm gonna listen to it, see how crappy it is. Edwin Cushing, native of Rhode Island. 1873, came out here to work in the mines probably. Well, out here, probably the lumber mills. I don't know, I'd have to look him up. Yeah. But even in his time, for a stone marker like that, you know, possibly not rich, but he definitely wasn't, you know, poor. Sister, mother, Nellie and Anna, 1863, 1840, 1970. That's still dying young. 1863, dies in 1917. 1840 to 1923. That's a good run. Yeah, it's a good run. Go look at the. Here's another thing. If you know, and other people are starting to make videos on it. How come you're not seeing any new cemeteries? Where all the dead people going? They're going into our food supply. No, I'm not kidding. You know, McDonald's is people. You know, you're gonna get sued over that, really? Really? That looks like magnetite. Looks like a good chunk of iron ore there. Magnetite. Look at that. Vincent Hawk, Signo, in this sign you shall conquer. Conquer death. Someone broke the third chain up there. Dumbasses. They used to be gardens for the dead. That's how they viewed it, gardens for the dead. That way when you'd come into the cemetery, it wasn't foreboding, it wasn't spooky, it was actually kind of a peaceful, calm, joyful place to be. We don't have that mentality anymore. We've let Hollywood totally twist that. Yeah. Lone Mountain. Yeah. So that's what I mean. We got people all in this country tearing everything apart because they hate it. They don't even know what the hell they're looking at. You don't. This is racist. Wife of George Tuffley. Died 1889, aged 60 years. 73 years. I can see right here, here's one. 60 years, 100 years. No, there it is. That's the D. Okay, it's not a 60 years, 10 days. I thought that was another zero. Standing that far back. Getting old. Yeah. Oh, here, a little mausoleum. Look at the lichen. Look at the moss on this one. Yeah. P.D. Canny died March 5th, 1901. 53 years. Mary, 64 years. August 16th, 1919. That's a beautiful stone, though. Look at that. Look how it's cut. Look at that. Beautiful. Feels great. It's awesome. Look at all this. There's a nice big fat cross. Hold on a second. Keep the car out of the video. So remember, before COVID, you guys were tearing down Confederate monuments because it was racist. And COVID hit. You guys totally forgot about Confederate anything, right? And then Putin goes into Ukraine, saving the world from COVID. He gets no credit for proving what a murderous hoax the vid is, and they're still bringing that shit back. They're not gonna stop. You know, that's a beautiful chunk of granite. Look at that. That really is. Yeah. So Putin does the invasion of Ukraine. Everybody forgets about COVID. Next thing you know, all restrictions are lifted because, well, obviously it's not that dangerous. Putin just went into Ukraine. You know, there were like over 100 biolabs, American-based biolabs inside Ukraine. But you could only find it through the U.S.-Ukrainian Embassy website. That's where it was all listed. And I'm doing screenshots like crazy, posting that shit everywhere, and none of you are like, oh, it's just coming from him. What does he know? He doesn't have a PhD and 5 million followers. Sean Ryan doesn't have a PhD. Yeah. Lieutenant William Mara, Company A. Mexican War. The letters at the bottom have been, somebody's been chiseling that thing down. See what I mean? Someone's chiseling that shit off of there. Powell's, Missouri. Something infantry. Mexican War. But it says 61-65. Maybe you served in both, you know? You know, that is a good thing about some of these guys in the heritage groups, is they are researching, you know? Little lady walking with her phone playing music, walking through the cemetery. Why? Because it's peaceful. It's peaceful. So anyways, my cousin's headstone, he was killed while on active duty in the Navy. His headstone looks like one of these right here. So that's what my cousin's headstone looks like. Not one of these. 1955, 2022. So I imagine it could be up to the choice of the family though too, right? I don't know. I haven't looked that far into it. So anyways, Putin effectively ends COVID, saving the world that way. And then we fixate on Putin and Russia ever since then, and they're still doing a good job of the propaganda war against the Russians. Aw, Oh, look at that. Someone brought a 58 caliber bullet. Oh, it's glued there. Epoxid. No, don't worry, I won't take it. I've got 2 bullet molds for 5.77. Lieutenant John S. Kelly, Company B, Indiana. Company H, Company B, Indiana H Cavalry. Horse Cavalry? I mean, is there any other kind? I'm not used to seeing that. I don't know what the H stands for. I'm not used to seeing that. Hospital. GF Ford Company A. 13th Massachusetts? Yeah, 13th Massachusetts. 13th? There's a TH there. Yeah, 13th. So he ends COVID by going into Ukraine. Everybody's pissed off about that, you know. So now everybody, you know, even all over the place, you could always see the mindless meatheads because they've got Ukrainian flags outside their fucking homes, or they've got Israeli flags outside their fucking homes. You know, if you don't like my language, up yours. Just because your kid doesn't swear doesn't mean your kid isn't watching satanic porn on the internet. Shit. Alright. They find graves of mass bodies, but even before that happened, Biden's on TV saying, oh, they're going to say something about mass graves or something like that. It's all lies. So even before the Russians could report it, what was being reported in 2015 and 2016, before the Russians went in, the United States government was not even acknowledging it. So we knew. We absolutely knew. You know? So we go from Confederate statues are racist and evil, right, to COVID, and everybody has to, don't, you touched your nose, you touched your nose, you know, you're closer than 6 feet. We go from ripping out monuments and statues and vandalizing cemeteries to looking at everybody else on who's not washing their hands after they wipe their ass. All right, and then Russia goes in, so then there's that problem there. And now we're stuck on Epstein with Donald Trump, but fuck everybody else. They want Donald Trump and Epstein. Never mind the Clintons, even though they've been brought in for their questioning again. And as usual, Bill Clinton lies with a smile on his face, because he does, and he did. So what I mean, when you brain dead fuckers are willing to choose politics over actions, you know, our guys just went to the island to enjoy some sunshine. The Republicans went to the island because they were raping little kids. It's fucking the mentality. Oh my God, the mentality. It's just unbelievable. And that's what I mean. I have to choose a side. I choose my side. Screw you. Fuck you. I choose my side. You guys can go get bent. Exceedingly bent, especially in this area. Swinger parties everywhere. Group sex people grooming their own kids. I know what this is, and it's not coming to mind right now. I know what that little pine cone goes to, but it's not. Damn it. Deer will eat them. Look at that beautiful little headstone there. So I wanted to come back over here. Annie Cook died November 13th, 1898, age 36 years. Beautiful headstone there, Annie. There you go. Your family did right by you. (1853, 1899). Yeah. There's another one, another tree. Yep. Cut down in life. Yeah. No branches. All right. Moritz F., a native of Hamburg, Germany, died November 12th, 1894, age 69 years. Fisher, Decker, and Decker. So there you go. Cemetery symbology, if you can find a book on it, is incredibly fascinating. It really is. Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You guys don't know a fucking thing about your own family trees, and you're destroying everything around you. I mean, they got you so riled up and so dumbed down. You're destroying your own historical familial evidence that stands against their narrative. They've got you destroying your own past to support their future. And you're doing it with a smile on your fucking faces. Dumb shits. Absolute dumb fucks. William M. Russell. I go home and put my weight vest on. I know, you'd think I'm fat enough. So, it's only 20 pounds. But my back's all screwed up anyways. Here we are again. I guess it's coming from this guy here, but that looks like a pinyon pine. That's not a pinyon pine. Is it? I don't know. Where's it coming from? The cottonwoods. The cottonwoods leave little pine cones? That bastard right there, that guy. Oh, wait, let's look at this really quick. I like this. I like how this looked. Henry Fullstone, born November 23rd, 1838. Measure of time, dude. Tick tock, tick tock. No, it's not pagan. You'll see even in old Christian iconography, the sun, life, power, strength, the sun has many memories, many reasons, many definitions. And the religious paranoia, the Christian religious paranoia, is worse now than it was in the 80s and the 90s. Here you are. I don't remember what tree this is. Look at that. It's a pretty tree. I should find out. Get something, plant this in the yard. I like those itty bitty pine cones, man. Yeah. Take some pine cones. There we go. I'll take 2 pine cones. So anyways, I'm going to turn this off now and get the hell out of here. But, I mean, not a lot of people, some people are making videos, where are all the bodies? Where have all the dead gone? You know, I even ran into this one lady, and she said, well, they couldn't bury the dead because of COVID. You know, they weren't allowed to bury, and that's bullshit, because even on the news, they're running bullshit. They were running bullshit news footage of digging a damn trench there in New York and having nothing but a mass grave where they're putting the bodies in it. So that's what I mean, people. Calm the fuck down, use some common sense. Because even when you get around people, or you don't even have to get around people, you get in a populated area where everybody's in absolute flight response, that energy permeates the entire region. The next thing you know, your body's picking up on that. So, consciously, you don't realize it. Subconsciously, you're picking up on it. You're starting to lose your shit and freak out, and you don't know why. It's because the region you drove into, everybody's lost their shit. So they're not reasoning, they're not paying attention to anything, they're just totally reacting and overreacting. It's like the people in the medical field. Right off the bat, it should have told them something's going wrong with this, because when they said that the elderly and the young are not susceptible to this virus, that told me right off the bat, okay, this is either some absolute bullshit or this is a weapon. But they know what it is. Because the same PhDs that wrote the fucking books that people in the medical field had to study and pass the tests would tell you that those that are most easily susceptible to pathogen are the young and the elderly. One's immune system is naive, the other immune system is old and worn out. Or basically not old and worn out, just as we age, piss poor nutrition. So, 19th Iowa Infantry, Captain A.H. Parker, Company I. There you go. You know? And again, while everybody else was running around Carson City screaming, ammo, I need ammo, and they're buying up all the goddamn sugary food that knocks your immune system in the dirt, I was ordering used medical books off Thrift Books for $8. Like, time to bone up on some stuff. Okay, oh, last printed 2012. Well, that's close enough for government work. But even the medical professionals, and then when you start having doing TikTok dances in the damn hospitals, and they're putting that up there, you know there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on, you know. But it's like at first you get caught up in warp speed of all the panic, and that's the other thing you got to remember to remind yourself of what to do. Take a step back, calm the fuck down, disassociate, and look at it. Look at it as though you're impervious to it, as though it won't affect you. And then see how everybody else is responding to it. And then wondering and asking, where is this information coming from, and why does it contradict all the known proven techniques and tactics of the past? And why are they deliberately contradicting it? And why are they deliberately destroying the doctors who are asking those same common sense questions? You guys don't do that. It's like you guys that blindly follow these friggin' military vets on their YouTube channels because they had a title. It doesn't mean they're your friend and they're on your side. I'm an American. That doesn't mean shit. What kind of American are you? Right? This is all done by hand. This rock was split by hand. That's what these are. These are the holes hand drilled into the rock. Or it could be hand drilled, or just machine drilled. Probably machine drilled, right? Born in Ithaca, New York. Abram Curry. Founder of the Carson City and Curry Engine Company. Gift to Nevada, Capital Block. So anyways, you guys just blindly follow these channels just because it's a friggin' veteran. You know, there's other veterans out there that have channels that they're absolutely 100% constitutional and they have no following. You know, you have no principles. You're following, you know, and to the flag for which it stands. I can't even do the Pledge of Allegiance because I don't know it anymore. Because I don't care about it. The Pledge of Allegiance was written by a fucking socialist. Right about the time we got the Federal Reserve Bank coming in, or came in, somewhere in there, 1920? Somewhere in there? Right? And then, I think, go look it up. Go look it up when they put in One Nation Under God. They put that in there to make it sound more patriotic, but I don't remember when. I think they did it just before Vietnam. I think they put it in there in the 1950s. Late 50s, just before Vietnam. It was in the 1950s when Congress went ahead and decided, okay, Confederate veterans are American veterans, thus worthy of a Veterans Memorial headstone. So under an act of Congress, well, we were going into Vietnam soon. The government knew that. You and I didn't know that. You got to get Johnny Reb on that side of patriotism. So we'll go ahead and count their ancestors as American veterans. You got to look into the bullshit. You know? At least the Confederacy fucking fought. You may not like what they fought for. You may grossly misunderstand what they fought for. But at least they fought. We won't do shit. We won't fight for a damn thing. So, here we go. Hoy, hoy. I gotta go home now.